Before we get started, just some reminders as a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Also, we ask that you please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. If you're joining us via Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address questions in the room first and get to Zoom if time allows. And again, recording this press conference on your cell phone or another camera is prohibited. So from Norfolk State, we have Diamond Johnson and Kira Wheeler. We'll open the floor to any questions. We have someone walking around with the microphone. When you have a question, so just make sure you have the mic before you go ahead. All right. Anybody want to go first? Right here.
Mia Berry with Anscape, Diamond, Mimi, for both of you. Both of you come into this tournament a lot of experience in terms of NCAA tournament appearances. What are some lessons you guys have learned from previous experiences being in this tournament that you are hoping to, get a different result this time?
Really coming in, just knowing that we have to be extremely disciplined. A lot of mistakes that we made previously, we're not allowed to make the mistakes in the game tomorrow, and just also knowing what's at risk. We've been here 3 times now. The first time it was kind of a shock, but now it's not a shock to us anymore. It's just kind of us being determined and knowing what's at stake.
I'd say we can't start off slow. A lot of our games, we start off slow, down by 20, down by 15, down by 10. Against a team like Maryland, we cannot start off that far. It's going to be hard to come back. But like Mimi said, just discipline, the little mistakes we was making in previous games we can't make because they're going to capitalize off of it every time. So we got to be disciplined. We got to play our game, come to the game confident, and compete like we do every game.
All right, ladies, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Talked about your experience a little bit, but last year you went out west. This time you're a little closer. So how excited are you about the potential to see more green and gold in the building tomorrow?
It's good. Like you said, we close to home. Got a lot of family up here. Our other teammates do as well. Sitting in the seat last year, like you said, we was in Cali. We was 3 hours ahead, and it was the time zone was a lot to do it. So we're kind of fortunate enough to be close to home, kind of have a good fan base tomorrow, and just the support that we need to make sure we feel like a home game. So it feels good.
It feels really good just to be close to Norfolk State and having our fans being able to come and just come support us. And I think it's going to be a lot more green and gold than we saw previous years. And I'm just excited. We had a fan bus come up here, so it's definitely going to be packed out with green and gold.
Very cool.
Sorry, I'm putting you out of work today. But Diamond, started your career off in the Big Ten. You're very familiar with the Brenda Free's Maryland team. What are you really telling your teammates about what to expect when it comes to playing Maryland?
I just say it's gonna be more of a guard game. Maryland likes to play fast. They guards can go. It's kind of like a free system. That's kind of what it's been. They got a lot of good guards. They do have some good bigs as well. But as far as what they do, they try to stay with their man. They can switch with the bigs because the bigs is, active and stuff like that. So it's going to be more of a guard game, but just know we got bigs like Big Mama and McCoy and Sierra to hold down the paint as well and do what they do on the offense and defensive end.
Hi, for both of you. What was it like playing, I guess, under the pressure in your conference tournament after you guys went in undefeated? And I guess how much different does this kind of feel, being able to sort of be the hunter again instead of the hunted?
It was really no pressure coming into the conference tournament, not saying it it wasn't a challenge, but it was just because we had a lot of experience and also this this group is very mature. Like, I've been playing with Coy for 3 years. I've been playing with Naya for 3 years. I've been playing with Donasia for 3 years. Me and Diamond have a great connection, and it's only been 2 years with us, but we spent a lot of time together. So it was really no pressure because we've been put in every situation possible in the last 3 years. So I think like it was really no pressure. It was just kind of second nature to us.
Yeah, kind of the piggyback of what she said. Like you said, we was being hunted in the MEAC, but going 14-0 because those teams, they didn't care about our record. They didn't care who we was. They competed, and they are gritty. And I think that challenged us to start off dominant and not expect anything to be handed to us. I also think our preseason schedule was very tough. We play Alabama, Missouri, Auburn, UNC. Like, we playing teams that's in a tournament now, and that kind of helped us go into the MEAC, and then following up like we here today. And like I said, we gonna see these teams in a tournament, and it's been a good season. Preseason, MEAC, I think our whole schedule just built to this moment, honestly.
All right, this is my last question for now to y'all. How excited are you all to show your brand of basketball, like your depth? Like, y'all got a lot of dogs on the bench. Y'all play tough. Ajane, Debria, like, I think y'all have a lot of depth that people don't know about. So how excited are you to show what Norfolk State is all about and just how y'all play so tough all season?
I'm very excited. I think we got a lot of underdogs on our team that people don't know about. Like you said, a lot of the attention gets put on Diamond or gets put on me. But if you worry about me too much, you don't know that AJ's coming at you. You don't know that Bree's coming at you. And I think we just have a lot of talent there, and we have a lot of maturity. Naya's a great shooter, but people don't know that because she barely shoots the ball. She's a facilitator, but you can't leave her open. So I'm excited to play on a national stage and just really giving us a chance to show what we got, because I feel like it's been hindered all year, but now's the time.
Yeah, like she said, and like you said, we got a lot of people that can score any given night 15 plus. It's been a lot of times where it wasn't just me or Mimi leading us in scoring or just rebounding. It's been a lot of other guards, like, it's like Debria, Donasia, McCoy, AJ. So that kind of shows the kind of team that we have, is that, like she said, you just can't focus on one or two people because you got 4 others that can just come out any given night and do what they do. McCoy, she was a big piece. She wasn't here last year with us, but this year she's here, and she's been a big piece. And just bringing that energy and, rebounding the ball and just sprinting the floor and stuff like that. You can't leave her open either. Like she said, Naya, like, it's a lot of pieces. And that's just what we're going to showcase in this tournament. Come on now, Mia, say it.
Hey, I came loaded. For both of you, I've seen Twitter from X. You guys have been very active. The whole world has been active when they talk about that brand of HBCU basketball we've seen in the tournament this far. So for both of you, how has it been seeing other HBCU teams in the SWAC show out, and how does it feel to finally it's your turn?
I mean, I've been preaching about that since I've been at NSU. Like, HBCUs, we kind of like the underdog. Like you said, the SWAC, the MEAC. Not a lot of people know about, a lot of HBCUs, but it's good to see Southern pull out they win. And now they going dancing again, even though, they had to do they play-in game. But it's good to see because it's not just for us. It's for literally every HBCU in the world, or even just mid-majors at that, that don't get the recognition that I feel like they should. But it's good to see the game of basketball just growing as a whole, not just P4 or even mid-major schools, but even HBCUs. It's on the come up, and I've just been excited to see that the past 2 years. Because when I was at a P4, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't know much about HBCUs either. So this kind of opened up my eyes to a whole different avenue. So it's definitely good to see.
I definitely would like to say congratulations to Southern on being one of the 4 HBCU teams that's gotten a March Madness win. So big congrats to them. Also Alabama State. So it was just really exciting to see. Those were tough games for them too. San Diego State started to fight back after a little bit, but Southern held it down. And it was just very exciting to see, like, HBCUs prove that they deserve to be there, and hopefully next year they don't have to be in a play-in game. They can just be a 16 seed or whatever they want to seed them, because they deserve to be here just as much as anybody else. They won their conference.
Just stay close. I'm sorry.
Good.
I'm happy you guys mentioned the play in the 16. You guys came in, you're making history, the highest seed an HBCU team has had in the last decade for you guys. In what ways do you feel like the product, what you were able to do this season, shows the elevation of HBCU women's basketball over the last year?
We really just wanted, coming into the season, we had end goals. This is one of our end goals to making it here, and we're not done yet. And I just feel like we prepared for this. Like, it was June, and a lot of schools wasn't in there, but we was working. Me and Diamond was working. We knew what we represent. We represent a lot more than just women's basketball. It's us being black women, us being at HBCU, us being the first really dominant program coming out in a long time. We got Diamond coming from a P4. A lot of people don't do that, but she's proven that she can play and be dominant in any conference. So, and it doesn't matter. And I feel like we just knew what we was bringing to the table, and we did a lot of work to get here.
Yeah, we was working hard. I mean, if y'all was there when we was doing them hills and them steps and them doubles, like it was a lot of work that was being put into it. And like she said, this was definitely one of our goals. Like towards the end of the season, we was checking, like, you know how to bracket update and stuff. We like, where we gonna be? Where we gonna be? They got us playing this, so it was kind of like good to see. That, like, we got a 13 seed. You know, 3 years ago, they started off at 16 playing South Carolina. Last year, we was at 15 playing Stanford. So this year, we're 13 playing Maryland. So each year, it just progressed, and that just happened with our team just working hard, our coaches working hard, doing scout film, practices and everything. Wish y'all could see a practice, because we look like we love each other. In practice, it's literally just battles every single day. But it's definitely a good feeling once you know the hard work pays off. Like, this was definitely one of our goals. And like she said, we're not done yet, for sure.
If we don't have any other questions at the moment, I'll take one from Zoom. I think. Worked earlier. Struggling there to get him. Okay. Rob, you can go ahead with your question.
Diamond and me, good to see you guys. Rob Knox here from the Next.
Hola.
Hola. Can you congratulations on everything that you all accomplished. Obviously, it's been nice to be able to document it this year. One of the things I haven't asked either one of you all, can you just talk about the how has Coach Vickers really helped you all develop on and off the court this year and embrace the expectations that you all had?
One thing Coach LV has taught me since I've been here is glass ceilings. Like, once you reach a goal, once you reach the ceiling, you want to break through it. Like, and I've been very grateful that he came in with that mindset, because that's kind of the mindset that I want to take on for like the rest of my life, is not being satisfied and not getting comfortable. Yes, we did break goals. Yes, they didn't think we was going to make it when we was the 16 seed, and it's 2 years later, and now we're the 13 seed. So I'm just very appreciative for his hard work and his motivation, and that keeps me motivated. I love his level of competition. He always wants to compete, and I'm a competitor all around. So just being around that environment, that helped me grow a lot.
Yeah, I will say the same thing. There's a lot of times where he got me outside of my comfort zone, whether that's in life or whether that's on the court. And I definitely appreciate him for that. And he just, gave me the range to do what I do on the court. Me just expressing whatever I went through at my P4 schools. And he just kind of like took that, and he made me trust him with the process and, trying to do something different. And I thank him for that as well. Another big piece is that Coach Fox, she was in the gym with me. She been in the gym with me for the past couple years, and she just shows me what hard works look like. They both do what hard works look like, whether that's film, practice. They always challenging me. He always say I don't jump on my pull up, and I'd be like, I did jump. But then I look back at like, dang, I only took this much inch off the ground. But he say like little remarks like that, which pushes me and make me just do better the next time.
Rob, do you have any other questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. If we don't have, do we have any other questions in the room? No, I don't think so. So you're good? Okay. If that's the case, then we'll let Diamond and Kira take off. Thank you for joining us today. And good
Thank
luck
you.
tomorrow.
Thank y'all for having us.
Just closing announcements. Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us. Hey, Coach. All right, we're joined now by Norfolk State head coach Larry Vickers. We'll have a couple of moments for his opening remarks, and then we'll open the floor to questions.
Well, good afternoon. First of all, we're just happy to be here. This never gets old coming to the NCAA tournament. You work so hard for it. It's your number one goal, especially for us as a program every summer. So, it's an honor to be here 3 times in a row. You want me to talk about the game, or do you want me to talk about the year? Overall, we started conditioning in the summer. I probably took over conditioning, in about mid-August. And when we got done conditioning, we had something we call prod sprints. And we wanted to run a prod sprint tired, exhausted after a long conditioning day for all the games that we thought were going to be extremely difficult. So obviously we named our 5 high major opponents. We haven't won in the Burr. That's Howard University's gym, so that was one. And then we just had Green Bay. We just had so many prod sprints to run. And I told him, I said, we can make it to the NCAA tournament and be, 19 and 12. And have a really good year, because I felt like we really challenged them with the schedule, with the amount of traveling that we had to do. I wouldn't have expected to sit here 30-4, and it just speaks to the pride this team has, the competitiveness that this team has. That's what really makes us good, our competitiveness. But to be here 30-4, back to back to back NCAA tournaments, back to back to back to back. Regular season champions, is an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor.
Right here.
So Ray Rogers, HBCU Legends, and also Urban Sports Scene. Coach, always congratulations on your success this season and of course prior years. All year I've talked about how outside of Puerto Rico, y'all remain locked in, mentally tough. So how do you keep the ladies locked in and still root for the guys tonight? As you know, of course, they play Florida. And also, how excited are you? I asked the ladies about this, that you're in College Park, not too far. Sound like you got some people traveling here, and you're going to have more green and gold versus being in California to start the tournament last year.
Well, it's definitely a lot easier to keep them focused when there's not a beach around. Puerto Rico, that beach was too close. It wasn't good for us. But, being close to home obviously is something that's, we thank the selection committee for keeping us a lot closer to home this time. Year one, we went to South Carolina, which was a couple miles outside of the being a flight. And then last year, we went all the way to Stanford, and we played an 8 p.m. game. So if you watched our 1:30 press conference, it's a lot of yawning. Our energy wasn't high. And then so this year, just to stay on the East Coast, with some players that we're somewhat familiar. Some of my team played a lot of these players through AAU and things like that. So some of them, so today in personnel, they were kind of like chiming in, does she still, and that's, when you're closer to home, that kind of stuff always helps. I'm not sure how big of a crowd that we have, but we have a large DMV alumni base here that really supports us heavily in everything we do. So, hopefully we can get about 500 people in here, maybe a little bit more to cheer us on tomorrow.
Hey, Coach Jay Alter with ESPN. Congratulations, as you mentioned, 3 straight trips to the NCAA tournament.
Thank you.
Tough to do. Yeah. What will you take into this tournament that you've learned from the last 2 years?
Well, year one, even drawing South Carolina, we were just happy to be there. If you would have heard us in probably some of our pregame stuff, we were talking like we generally don't talk. And then last year with Stanford, it wasn't a happy to be here, but we wanted to have a lot better performance, and we kind of did that up until about the middle of the second. And then they kind of just jumped on us a little bit. And this year, we're a seasoned group with nothing to lose. I'm not saying we're coming in here to win, but we're coming in here to compete for 40 minutes and try and keep the score a lot closer than some of those other games have been.
Okay.
All right, Coach. So what are you expecting from Mimi? Her first year, of course, she got the love from Don Staley. Last year, she faced some tough bigs at Stanford.
Yes.
She was a little frustrated, but she worked with Diamond in the offseason on guard skills. She got the 3-ball working now. Yeah. How do you expect her to shine on this stage now in her third experience?
Well, one thing about Kiera's going to compete. And it doesn't matter who we play. That's why Don Staley showed her that love, 3 years ago. She's going to compete. She doesn't feel slighted by any means, but she just wants to rise to the level of competition. Regardless if that's defensively, offensively, she's going to do whatever's best for our team. And that's why she's easy to coach, for the most part. I know 22 will be ready, tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I don't have to motivate her or talk to her. She's going to be ready. One thing I like to see, as a coach is every year you get a little better. Going from year 1 to year 2, she had the massive weight loss. I won't say the number, but it was a good amount of weight. And then year 2 to year 3, just extending her decision-making, You talked about the guard skills and adding the 3, which just makes her so much tougher to guard.
Right here in front.
Mia Berry with Anscape. Hey, Coach.
Hey.
Good to see you again. Over the last 48 hours, we've seen pretty much the world go crazy when it comes to HBCU teams getting wins. For you as a HBCU head coach, what was it like seeing your counterparts, perform well in this tournament, and how does that add some motivation for you and your team to go out and do the same tomorrow?
I tell everybody, we generally perform very well in the playing games. I think that what's next for our league overall, we want to try and get, especially on the women's side, we want to get some more upsets. On our men's side, we've had some upsets. Norfolk State beating Missouri obviously was a part of that, but Coppin State and Hampton getting wins as well in the first round. We want to be dominant in the play-in so the committee can recognize, like, hey, when we play like opponents, because a lot of my counterparts, they don't get to play a lot of like opponents. They're playing a lot of guarantees. So we want to make sure that we're showing well in those games. But we want to try and get some of these first rounds. And then when we can start to get those, people will respect our league more and more and more, And what do we have? 3 20-win teams, I guess, this year. But we want to get to a point to where we're like some other leagues getting 5 and 6. And that comes with good scheduling. And sometimes we're not allowed it, that based upon budgets and things like that.
Sorry, Coach, follow up.
Yeah, it's fine.
For you and your team, in what ways do you feel like the 3-peat, 3 NCAA tournament appearances has also put, the world on notice of the brand of basketball that you and the MEAC play?
Well, I think it started last year when March Madness did an amazing 7-minute documentary on us. It's on YouTube if you haven't had a chance to see it. Adding Diamond, where we won 26 games the year before we added Diamond. And then people are like, well, why would she go there? They have a good program there. So I thought the NCAA and March Madness has done a tremendous job, especially in the women's basketball space, like promoting our program, what we do on social media and just throughout the year. Just that exposure you can't pay for. So as we kind of got into the 3-peat this year, we wanted to just do even more special stuff. So we had 26, then we had 27. And we didn't talk about 30 at all. I can't even sit up here and say that was ever one of my dreams as the head coach here to win 30 games. It's not something that you even dream of at this level. But as it got closer, after we beat Auburn after Christmas, we were like, oh, it's obtainable. But we have to be kind of perfect to do so.
Coach, in the MEAC, you're known for your pressure defense and full court pressure. Well, Maryland is known for that as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
how prepared are you all to be pressed when you're used to being the pressure team? If that makes sense. If I'm saying that right.
No, it makes a ton of sense. We struggled with it last week against South Carolina State in our opening round game, and it was a perfect time because nobody generally ever tries to press us with Diamond and Naya, Ajane and Debris, and nobody ever tries to press us. So South Carolina State kind of tried something, and we turned the ball over 25 times. And I'm like, why would y'all pick the tournament in front of the other teams in the league to expose this? And then we spent a lot of time working on it the next day, and I think the next 2 games he might have had 25 turnovers total. So that was a good thing. So now we knew coming into this game today, it's the same thing. Making sure we being strong with the basketball, making sure that we're shortening our passes, knowing anything that's longer than 20 feet, they're going to steal. So, we just want to have some attention to detail tomorrow and try and handle the press on a national level well because we don't want it to frustrate us.
All right, so it's kind of interesting. We got you right during the celebration. When you won it, you had your kids with you. That gets your thumb out your mouth line kind of went viral a little bit.
Yeah.
But your team has talked about how you kind of like a father figure in a way to them. Just talk about this being kind of your last ride with some of these seniors and what they've meant, and how special is this group?
Well, this group is very special. It started with Nia Fields and McCoy Diawara that don't really get the praise, but they're the foundation of our team. They were class of 2020. That's our foundation. They built this. Naya is 3 years in a row unanimous captain. You know, we do a little voting system, 3, 2, and 1. She gets 3 every time from everybody. You know, she's always, and then she doesn't shoot the ball very much. You know, last year I was glad that the league gave her second team, averaging 6 points per game, just recognizing how important she is. But her and McCoy, they're our foundation. Coy is our energy. She's going to be bouncy and talk. And, you know, those two really started it all. And then we got a chance to add Diamond and, you know, add some others. So this group's going to be super special. You know, I tell them at this point, they're playing for legacy. You know, how many of y'all are going into the rafters? How big is the picture of us going to be in the gym? You know, just little stuff to motivate them. But I was pleased last year in the time of the transfer portal, we had 9 returners. You know, we didn't lose anybody in the portal at all, and we don't pay a ton. So, you know, it just speaks to, I guess, our culture and the love that they have for each other in that locker room.
Me again. Hey, Coach. Diamond said you guys have been working on starting fast. That's one of the key points going into this matchup. Coaching staff, in what ways have you guys really kind of emphasized or given them tips to make sure that they start fast when they play Maryland tomorrow?
Well, I took the blame because if you ever watch one of our practices, we do offensive breakdown 15, defensive breakdown 15, before we ever start to really compete. You know, so we've been trying to put the competition right in the beginning. Second one, let's go up and down, let's compete. So I took the blame for it, but we've gotten to a point to where we've won so many basketball games, they become a little lax. And, you know, for me, people don't understand, like, how hard Coach Staley's job is, how hard Coach Gino's job is. People that constantly win and win and win and win and just motivating a team. This has been a completely different challenge. You know, we've always been the hunters since 2016. So for us now, this is something different. As a coach, you got to motivate yourself a little bit different to kind of motivate your players. But they know tomorrow we can't start slow. We'll start slow tomorrow. It'll look like our UNC game because that was a game that we started slow and we couldn't come back. Now, Alabama, we started slow, revamped at halftime, and then we came back from 20. We did the same thing against Green Bay. Started, gave them a 20-point lead, and then came back where we lost that game in the last 9 seconds of a game. So they know we can't start slow tomorrow. We're going to have to be locked in earlier. Ready to compete from the jump.
Coach, I was at your, Selection Sunday party. Yeah. You were a part of the staff. One theme I did hear was shock the world. That was, girls were saying it, you were saying it, Kylo Quinn, who was on that team, was saying it. You know, this team, 16, 15, 13. What is it about this team that can get the job done and actually shock the world tomorrow?
Well, we know we're going to have to be pretty close to perfect, on the offensive and defensive end. But one is going to have to be better than the other. And, that 2012 men's team that beat Missouri, we gave up a lot of points that day, but we scored 2 more points, right? So whatever it is, I'm like, we can't be average on one end. On one end, we have to be exceptional, regardless if it's offensively, and we just run everything through those two, or defensively, and then we're able to slow them down. I think every day they come into that gym and they see a 40 by 20-foot poster of that 2012 team, so they know that it's possible. And, if they watch it was a 4-13 game earlier today. That was extremely close. So, we just kind of got to have that mentality coming in that it's possible, that we're going to believe, but also that we got to execute. Belief doesn't matter if you don't execute.
If we don't have any other questions, I'll let Coach Vickers take off. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And good luck tomorrow.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. Thank you for joining us.